Hello and welcome to another Daily Muppet. In today's video, we're going to keep talking about the big news that has come up in between that we were covering on Twitter yesterday, which is West Ham's pursuit of Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, exactly where it's at, as I have some updates on the situation and the latest that I want to explain. We'll also talk about Fred. I got quite a few things to cover, really, in terms of details. Amrabat, as well as potentially are there other options available in the midfield? And center back, some more. And then I'm going to do a nice prediction for the Premier League season upcoming. So let's get to it. Okay, so build Moyes' statue. So basically, obviously what has happened here is that West Ham have made yesterday a double offer, two separate offers for Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay, valuing each at about £30 million. The offer for Maguire, as I heard, was close. I heard that pretty much right away. I think I got it out there before anybody else. I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit because it's been a really good summer, and I've been very excited about how accurate my sources have been, to the point of almost being surprised. I'm still surprised by it. It still feels sort of unreal at times, the amount of things that we've been getting. And anyway, so I heard that the Harry Maguire deal was rather close. That initially as well, they thought there's some sort of potential for a Scott McTominay deal to happen. And this is where it is at as of now. The deal for Harry Maguire talks have been continuing. The offer was close enough that, could kind of open talks. This is a similar way that United have approached purchases. They've made some offers that have been rejected, but that have moved things forward in the discussion. And that's really where it stands with Harry Maguire. It has allowed, the deal for Harry to potentially move forward into a position where this deal could happen, that United may compromise. The biggest point that needs hanging up now is the wages. United do not want to have to pay off near 10 million. There's about 190,000 a week that they're paying Harry Maguire. West Ham are going to be offering around 100. He's got 2 years left. That makes for about £9 million in wages that he would be essentially taking as a cut in the move from Manchester United to West Ham. And so one of the big factors in this discussion is United do not want to sell him for 30 and have to pay off 10 million in wages. And that's really the biggest talking point presently in this deal, is that West Ham don't necessarily want to pay more, but it's going to be about the wages that are going to be in there. United are going to want them to figure out how to cover that or work out a deal with Harry Maguire. So that's really the sticking point. There's another article coming out that they are not necessarily wanting to increase on their offer, but the wages are the main point. That's what I tweeted out earlier. That's sort of the subject of a lot of discussions, but there's still a feeling that's going to happen. There's some appetite still for a Scott McTominay deal to occur. West Ham are going to be playing up with their other sources, other potential targets and things to look at that. But the situation is as it stands. That McTominay is a bit out of reach. And part of that is what I'll discuss in a minute. West Ham do think if they could offer closer to 35 to 40 that United would sell. But we're going to have to see. Once the Maguire deal is settled, then they might come back and look at it. They're really not sure. They think it might be too far off their valuation. And that is okay. So just to wrap up this point in time as to where things are right at this moment in time, West Ham's pursuit of Harry Maguire is close. They think they're close to a deal. It's at the low end of acceptable for Manchester United to sell Harry Maguire. A major sticking point at the moment, or the thing that is mostly needing resolving if West Ham are not going to pay significantly more on the fee, is how to handle the wages that Harry Maguire would be due for the final 2 years of his contract in comparison to what he would get at West Ham. And that needs resolving, and that is something that'll be up to both clubs as well as West Ham and Harry himself to resolve if the move is going to occur, but it is in progress. The McTominay deal, There's still an interest in it, but they're going to have to come back for it later, and they will have to significantly increase that offer to closer to 40 for United to consider selling. Moving on to the next point, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Around the turn of the year, I heard that he had really started to work his way back in after in January them thinking about potentially replacing him. By March, I was told there was no plans to get rid of him and that he was actually starting to earn his place closer to that number one position at United. This is now being confirmed as Sammy Mockbell reports that United are set to open talks over a new contract for him. And essentially that would mean Erik ten Hag is happy with his development, happy with him working with the team, and thinks between him and Dalot, he has what he needs at right back. Wan-Bissaka not going anywhere, been that way for about 6 to 7 months now, earning his place, and is quite likely the starter for opening day. Moving on to Fred. I think this ties into the Scott situation. Van de Beek is almost on his way out. I don't have an update there, but that Real Sociedad thing is true. I was told yesterday afternoon, in the late afternoon, that there was not a deal for Saudi Arabia for Fred agreed. However, this one is starting to move, and some new offers are expected from multiple areas, including Turkey in the play. And I was told prior to the weekend that there was movement on Fred looking at offers from Turkey, at the very least in terms of personal terms, and that they expected to reapproach the club. So while earlier offers were not sufficient for Fred, at the moment it is starting to move forward now, and the club are optimistic of being able to sell him and get a compromise in the very, very near future. So given that, if Fred is to depart, then United feel that they do not have to rush the departure of Scott McTominay, as it would leave them a little bit thin, and they definitely need a replacement. That replacement is expected to be, of course, Sofyan Amrabat. I'll talk about more on this tomorrow because there are other names on this list if United were to potentially sell Scott McTominay too, that they could explore in a deal that are more expensive, but younger, higher potential, and potentially more in the long-term vein of replacements for Casemiro. Not a high percentage. It's likely going to be Amrabat. Just keep an eye on this. In general, a lot of things are going to have to happen for them to move to one of those types of targets, but I just wanted to make mention of it. Moving on to Hannibal Mejbri. Obviously, there was a report now and a few reports building that Hannibal Mejbri was impressive in preseason and that he would not be sold. Now, I never expected him to be sold based on my information, but there's still a good chance he could go on loan. However, it's not really been determined yet, and I think it's going to be based again on what happens over some of the other outs that are there. There's a deal for Luton on the table. United want guarantees of his play time. He could stay and fulfill the role of replacing Donny van de Beek and Fred as part of the team, especially in those attacking areas, and especially with Kobbie Mainoo out at the moment. But if he's going to go on loan, they want it to be a very good loan where he's guaranteed minutes and they can really see what he has to offer because he's very highly rated. He impressed, and United want to see what he can do. So he's not going to be sold. It is more likely that he will stick around in some capacity or go on loan by the end of the window. But I think with him, and similar to Facundo Pellistri, they might be in some of the squads for the next initial start. And this could change rapidly with Hannibal, but they might be in some initial squads for the start of the season while, there's no Rasmus Højlund, while Kobbie Mainoo is out, while there's a couple other things being assessed and some of these sales and things move. Maybe get some minutes, see how they do, then those decisions get made on loans. But not going to be sold, likely to stick around in some capacity or go on a loan with guaranteed minutes, and then so they can really assess him and see if he can be brought back next year to contribute. So quick run through on all of these major points. I'll do another video tomorrow talking about more, but these things are all expected to develop over the next couple of days and move ahead as we go in towards the weekend. Yeah, I'll talk about more things in a later video, but this is good for now. So I just wanted to kind of catch everybody up to date on this. Usually I'm doing videos every couple of days or something like that. But I just wanted to kind of get this out there as these things are in progress at the moment, and then move into maybe, doing something a little more fun that to fill out the rest of this video, which is, my United predictions, or rather Premier League predictions, that everybody can point and laugh at later. So let's get right into that. So I'm going to use this list to do it. Let's see, champions. Let me make sure I've got this right and that it looks good. Okay, so I'm going to start at the bottom and then go to the top. I think that my clubs for relegation right now are Wolves, with the manager situation that they occur, Luton, because I don't think they're very good, and then the final position, I haven't decided between Everton and Sheffield, but I'm going to go with Everton. I think that they're really going to struggle. I think they're having a lot of issues, and that their team, I think, would be relegated. I'm going to plop Sheffield up here in 17th. Then I'm going to go to the top. I think Manchester City are the clear favorites for champions. I think United, Arsenal, and then I'm going to go out on a limb and say Chelsea here. And I don't want to explain my reasoning why, because people will just laugh. So I'm going to stick with that. And then below that, I'm going to go with Liverpool. And I'm going to make a surprise here and say Aston Villa, round out the top 6. I'm going to put Spurs in here in 7th. This is my bold prediction, is that Newcastle are not going to be that good. Brighton, Brighton are one that obviously could jump into here, but I think they're going to struggle a little more than people think. Let's stick West Ham in here. This is where I honestly have no clue. It's kind of a crapshoot, but I think I think I'll go Brentford. I think Burnley will be all right. I feel like I've done too many in somewhere. 8, 9, 10, 11. Go Palace here, 12. I feel like I'm short something. Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest. Why does this feel like this is not enough teams? Who am I missing? Who's missing from this list? What? I'm missing someone from this list, but they're going to go in here. So this was an ill-prepared attempt at it, but I wanted to kind of give my predictions. Mostly I care here. This is where I'm very interested in seeing what happens in this top 6 or 7. I think it's going to be interesting. And in terms of relegation, I think these are the 4 that I would be focused on for it, with all the things that are occurring. So tell me how terrible this list is, and who I'm missing, because I'm missing somebody and I don't know why. So anyway, that's what I've got for today. So just to go back to this, wrapping things up, I hope all this information was useful. I'll definitely update as I hear little things throughout the day or week as they move forward on all of these deals, which could progress pretty rapidly, but I wanted to cover it. So thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications on, and I'm going to see you in the next video.